Welcome back to the channel, folks. Please subscribe, like, and share. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. Today, we are moving away from our stock seats and going to a modified seat. The reason is I'm a little on the taller side. I'm 6'3", so I like to sit a little bit lower in the Beetle so that my thighs are not up against the steering wheel. I'm probably going to change to a wood grain steering wheel, pre-spoke later, but not for right now. So I wanted something a little more comfortable. Here's a picture of the seats that I purchased. And I'll show you one in a second here. I'll pull the plastic off of it. What I did is I purchased them online. They were delivered in about a week, so pretty good. I sat one on the floor and sat on it, very comfortable. Needs broken, just like a new pair of shoes, you know, but they're nice seats. A buddy of mine has them in his Baja, actually both of his Bajas, and they're nice. I paid $250 for both seats shipped to the door. They're not Recaro brand or anything, but so what? You know, they work. I went to Summit Racing and I bought these brackets here. And that's what I'm using to make them fit to the floor, because the factory seats come with the slider brackets, not the factory, the aftermarket seats. They come with the slider brackets. I'll show you them here. And they go to the seat, and then I got brackets that I'll show you in a second that will bolt to the seats, or to the floors. Ain't going good today, am I? Anyhow, okay. I'm going to have to cut out the pedestal mount out of the car. The side rails, I won't have to cut out. So I'm going to see if I can cut the spot welds. I have a spot weld cutter, very cheap. I got it at O'Reilly's, I think, for $10 to change my rear apron, and worked great. So come on, let's take a look. I'll show you what I got going on. So far, got my seat upside down, boom, boom. And these brackets come in two pieces, like this. Now I had to drill the holes for them to go into the bracket. I'm all over the place here. Should have had stuff ready. These sliders bolt to the seat frames, but they're pretty nice actually, pretty solid. And the other one is the adjuster to slide back and forth. Now, as you can see, you can use these brackets in a few different ways from Summit. You can put them in a C channel and turn them upside down, but I got to do it like that. So that they fit down inside the floor without cutting the side rails out. So that's the way I got them set up. As you can see, I got lines struck all over them where I had to drill the holes to fit into these. Then the nice thing is they're adjustable. They actually have 3 holes on them. And I think I'll put the measurements up here. It can go up to 3.5 inches of adjustment. But one thing I've noticed is if I want the seats tilted in any certain direction, I can set these here and move that one up, and then I can have an angle where if you want the seat sitting like this, or if you need it like that because of your floor. I didn't put the seats in yet, but as you can see, the floor goes up here. So when I put the seat down in here, if the brackets need angle, they're adjustable on height and angle. They were 36 shipped to the door per one seat. So technically, you know, it's going to add up a little bit. You're going to have nice seats. The other one I just have sitting in there because I didn't want to rip it. I'm going to run a wire wheel around this pedestal mount because I believe that there are spot welds holding this down. Hopefully it's not welded. I don't believe it is. But if it's spot welded, I'll show you what I mean. If not, I'll take a diamond blade and run it around here and then use a flap grinder disc and just grind it smooth because I don't want to put holes in the floor. Should have done this before I did the sound deadener and everything, but it is what it is. So, all right, let's start playing. So, there's the pedestal. What I did is run just some cutting wheels. Be careful with your brake line. Watch out. And watch your wiring harness. Okay. I cut it out and around. Pull the pedestal off. And I'm going to try a flap disc. I don't know if it's good enough, and I was going to try to grind this nice and smooth so I can bring the carpet back. And then I'm going to see how far up I have to bolt the seats, because as you can see that goes uphill, but then brackets are adjustable up and down, the ones I got from Summit to put to the seats. So I'll try to grind this with the flap disc and see if this smooths out. Be careful when you're running a cutting wheel in the car, because it will be throwing sparks everywhere, so be careful with that. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so I took a flap disc and grinded it smooth. I have that little bump here, which I really don't care about that because the carpet's going to be covering it, but I ran the flap disc around it and ran it all smooth, because you don't ever want to reach under your seat for anything and cut your fingers either, or have it go through the carpet. So alright, that's nice and smooth. I am going to give this a little wire wheel, and I'm going to hit it with some Rust-Oleum, but I'm going to set the seat in first and see where I need to adjust it and drill the holes in the floors. Use grade 8 bolts with big washers and lock washers and everything when you're bolting your seats to the floor. So let's set the seat in and see where it's going to sit at, and then after I get the holes drilled and everything set, then I can come back, hit some Rust-Oleum, put some more quick roof that I showed you in my video. It's in the description for sound deadening. It's just all dirty right now because I've been in here working, and I'll put some sound deadener over that area. So let's check the seat out in here. I showed you a picture of the seat inside the car. Once you've done that, set the seat where it needs to be, sit on it, pull your adjuster, move it back and forward, see where you want the seat to be front to back. The best thing to do is slide the seat all the way forward. Once you do, slide it all the way back and find your happy spot. Once you do, drill some holes in your bottom brackets. That's the one that's going to bolt to the floor. Now do this at your own caution. I am not an expert in structural, so do this at what you see is best. Once you have drilled those holes in these brackets, go back to the car, set the seat inside. Once you set the seat in there, take a marker, and you can see some little markings that I had put on all four corners. Just take a marker, reach under through the holes in the lower brackets and mark, and then you're going to drill your holes in the floor. Alright? Okay, now, wanted to mention, once you have your holes drilled, okay, for your brackets that go to the floor, you see where I'm at with this here, okay? Remove your lower bracket. Just take your two bolts off where the height adjustment is. This will make things easy for you. That way you can hold them there, mark your holes, and drill into the floor where your holes need to be. Now what I did, I set the seat in place and got it where I wanted it, and I reached through, so you can see where the seat is. I reached through with a marker and just marked the holes on the floor for marks. And then you're set. That should make sense. It's pretty easy. Alright. Once your holes are drilled in the floor, basically you're just putting it in and putting your bolts down through the floor. Okay, now I'm going to take mine back out so I can sound dead in this area, and I got carpet delay. What I am going to do with mine, because I'm weird, I'm going to take the seats back off, remove the brackets, and paint them black. Now I know you cannot see that under there, and over here you can barely see it, but I want to. Oops, I got third on the seat. But that's it. Underneath, your bolts will come through. You have your 4 bolts. Now, I don't know how safe that is doing that. That's not going to be the finished product. I'm going to put some flat stock iron underneath and drill holes through it. And I'll explain in a minute here. Okay, these are the straps I'm talking about. And that's what I bought. Flat bar. Okay, and what I do, that's what bolts to your floor. And the bolts come through and boom, boom, underneath the floor. I cut these at 13 inches if you buy the same brackets at me, okay? Then you reach through, take your marker, whoops, can't get my finger right, and mark the holes. And you end up with that. Drill some holes through it, and this will go underneath the car. And then your nuts and bolts will go on there. I'll show you what I mean when I'm done. But instead of having bolts come through the floor and then just a flat washer, they could pull through, I would think, if something bad happened. But with that flat stock on there, it would have to pull the whole flat stock through the floor, and I highly doubt that's going to happen. Here's what it looks like mounted. It does sit a lot lower and back further, and you can move it back and forth. There's what it looks like in the car. Of course, you're not seeing any interior, and so, you know. But so you're going to sit a lot lower now. As you can tell, how my arm's sitting up instead of level. I like this. That's the way I like to drive. I like to sit low. And it's still adjustable. I can go up and back. It's a reclining seat back and forth. I'll put a link in the description for these seats if you want. It's up to you. eBay has them also, so I'll put a link to each place. But I like sitting low. These are comfortable. I'm held into place. I love it. Very, very happy. Okay, just for reference, let me move this up. That's all the way in the forward position, okay? And that's where I normally did sit with my Beetle seats all the time, where I was constantly, you know, and I'm 6'3", so you can go by that as a guide. I'm sitting much lower. I'm actually about 3 inches above the tunnel. But when I want to move back, I can legitimately move way back. Now, you won't want nobody sitting in the back seat, of course, when you're doing that. I don't know how often you guys ride people around, but I can literally sit in comfort. Actually, it's too far for me, and I'm 6'3". So that's just a reference point if you wanted to see. Okay, so that was Customized Seats 101. I kept the video short for you guys so you didn't get bored. I chopped it up as short as I can. Anyhow, I shortened it up. Any questions, please ask in the comment section. Do this at your own discretion, okay? I'm not some safety hazmat OSHA guy, you know what I mean? So I'm doing what I think's right. I am going to put that strapping underneath and have the bolts go through it so the strapping covers the underneath. And that way, if you do it with just bolts, they can pull through. I imagine in an accident with that strapping, it's going to have a harder time because it's going to be the length of that floor pattern. Okay, thanks for being here. Please subscribe, like, and share. The people that have already been here, I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you. Have a good day.